Hello friends, I'm welcoming you at my channel LiterMort, a channel devoted to literature in all the possible forms. And today I'm here to tell you a few words about the Salute the Sanguine song by Vivi Villevalo. Every song is a row of metaphors, since it is a piece of poetry. And a beautiful row of metaphors it is. As I said in my other videos, which you can check up, all these songs by Vivi make up a huge row of metaphors, at least those that I have had a pleasure to analyze, which are the forever lost, the echolocatia love, the love-letting, and the Saturnine Saturnalia song. All these songs give us an illustration of the motive of love in different shapes, and all of them contain the same motives, which are, as I said, the motive of love, the motive of death, and the motive of love being a game, that of love game. Love is a game. In the Salute the Sanguine, Vivi says, "Death, come, blow me a kiss through this cathedral of cards." It is an extended metaphor. An extended metaphor contains several metaphors which make up a whole. The loving persona, the character of the song, addresses death itself. The love that the two man and the woman share is a game of cards. It's a love game. How fragile the cathedral of cards is. The cathedral gives us a religious motive. It takes us to the wedding of the two, to the union of hearts, and this cathedral of Vivi's is that of cards. Again, as if sharing love, joining hands, hearts in love is actually a game, and whatever the two build up is nothing more than a card cathedral. It's not a true cathedral, and this one can be blown away so easily by the breath of death. Death of love, death of trust, of whatever puts an end to this love game. And it's again a metaphor, as if every metaphor can be explained. I think I must say just a few words, a couple of words about the metaphors as a literary fact. Every metaphor contains two images, the real image and that of fantasy. Fantastic image, that one coming from the imagination of the poet. The poet as if builds up an imaginary situation, intertwining it with a real one. What is this metaphor? As if death is a real figure, it is a real persona, which comes to put an end to the love of the two. It blows a kiss, which is actually the end of the love. So in this metaphor, as if the two are loving, but in fact are playing cards. They're building their love, but in fact as if they're building the house of cards. And when the end to their love comes, in the metaphor, the actual persona of death knocks on the door, comes up to them and blows this deathly kiss, and with the breath of death an end comes to this card game. And again, smudging, just distorting this cathedral of cards is a cruel act. It's something evil which death does, but this end, yeah, it comes with a kiss, which is something positive. Again, it somehow explains to us the main idea of the poet. Whatever is connected with love is positive, even the end of love. And as I said, I think in Echolocate Your Love, if a love game has to end somehow, it doesn't mean that this is a bad love. Every love is good, notwithstanding how badly it ends. Next part of the song is Remind Me How to Decrypt the Cipher Written in the Blood of My Heart. Again, the loving persona of the song is addressing the death, trying to find his way in the labyrinth of love. The motif of love game is connected with the motif of the labyrinth, as in the Forever Lost, where the loving persona is lost in the labyrinth of love, never finding a way out, though it's not the worst of fortunes to be lost somewhere which is connected with love. As if the ways of love cannot be totally decrypted, since it's a labyrinth, it's a secret. Love has its secret ways, and so as if at the moment this exact love game has come to its end, the person is asking himself, maybe his inner heart, maybe love itself, because love and death are connected. Death is the end of love. How to understand our own heart? What does our heart actually want? Who knows? Nobody knows. Why written in the blood of my heart? In this song, the blood is one of the main motifs. Blood is kind of life. Heart is more or less often the only alive thing in a person. Everything around us can be dead. In the world of cruelty, of hypocrisy, where people are just living dead, the loving, restless heart is the only alive thing left. And if it bleeds, still, it's 10 times better than being dead, never bleeding. It bleeds because it's alive, because it can bleed. A dead heart can't. We can be out of pain once our heart is dead. But this heart, the character's heart, it's bleeding just because it can, because it's an alive heart. It suffers, it loves, it's full of life, and it's full of sanguine. Actually, it's a literary finding by Vivi to give blood another name, taking it from Latin. The sanguis in Latin is actually blood, and every word which we use, it has lots of other connections in culture, in other pieces of art. No word is alone. It has lots and lots of connections. And sanguine, of course, it's connected with the theory of 4 humors been here in our human system, as far as I remember, explained by Hippocrates in ancient times, the famous doctor. Actually, those of us who have, instead of bile or water or whatever, the sanguis in our system in abundance, those joyful humans who are full of vigor, of life, of positive energy to love, to suffer, to fall and to rise and to enjoy life at its fullest. And this is the main idea of the song, must be. See, the poet Vivi, through the mouth of his character, salutes the sanguine, this power of a human to love, to lose love, to lose hope and to rise again, and to find something positive in every failure. For example, their heart is bleeding, and it is something good, it is positive news. It bleeds because it can, it's not dead. Maybe there are some like kind of extra serious people who can't bleed. They can try a lot and still they will never bleed just because they can't. Their heart is dead. So again, like, salute the sanguine. Yeah, like as if it's, you know, a goblet of wine, champagne, whatever, for the positive energy, letting us be as much human as we can. Red and tooth and claw, Vivi says, has to feel. Salute the sanguine, ferociously beautiful you are. This beautiful image of tooth and claw shows us the materialistic image of love. In all the literature of this planet, love can be explained as something heavenly or something earthly. There can't be a third one. It's either more heavenly or it's like more mundane. Which one is this? Vivi's. Red and tooth and claw, it's definitely earthly love. It's full of what is heavenly one is that of angels, yeah, which has nothing to do with our earthly problems, but the earthly one, it's full of failures, of mistakes, of our human doings, which are not ideal at its core. And the verb to feel shows us like the best human thing to be done, to feel. Because we are alive, we can feel. If we can't, if we can only, you know, think, analyze, make conclusions, if we can deal with things, if we can negotiate, but not feel, probably we are not as alive as we suppose we are. And again, we can see an oxymoron, ferociously beautiful, and it's one of the most common kinds of epithets in Vivi's poetry, when two epithets are connected together and their meanings make up a contradiction. Ferociously and beautiful being combined together. Again, it gives us an image of love. Love is not only about the beauty. It's not only about the angels, you know, beautiful birds, little roses, ice cream, and other nice, beautiful things. Love is ferocious. Again, love is full of vigor. It's full of passion, full of pain, full of different things. And it can be soothing, can be painful, it can be different. This is love. Different verses of the song start with different appeals, one to death and another to love. It's an antithesis. Death and love are forever in a contradiction, since death puts an end to love. But as we know from other songs, especially from the Saturnine, Saturnalia, every love that has found an end will find a continuation, since heart is alive. Once the heart is alive, it will love again and again and again, and every time the failures will be killing love again and again and again, but it will rise as alive as ever, just to find its ripening season and its death season yet again. As I said, the next verse starts with an appeal to love itself, just as the previous one started with appeal to death. Love, your lips move, but I can't hear you sing. In my citadel of scars, the ghost of you shimmers within, revealing what is lost. Vivi's character is trying to understand his own heart, understand what he wants, where this love will finally lead him. It all can end up in decay, and the two are in love, and evidently this love is coming to an end, and the loving persona is asking love what this all means, but they never get an answer. So love's lips are moving, but no answer ever comes out. The loving persona can't hear death and love speaking, singing. It shows us that no answers can be ever given. Love is a game to be played like blindly, in total darkness, because as we perfectly know, our hearts have eyes and ears and everything needed in itself, in themselves. And it can see in the dark, won't let us die in the darkness. It will finally find a way out. So eyes are not needed, nor are the ears needed. And so the loving one can't hear what it all means. And the citadel of scars is a beautiful periphrasis. Instead of saying heart, we say a citadel of scars. It means the person has survived through so many love failures, so many card games have ended in decay. So many card games were actually lost, have actually been lost. So now, like, one more, one less, well, just another scar on the heart. But as we know, a heart can pain only if it's alive. So as if this loving persona is asking their own heart, like, are we still bleeding? Do we still feel anything? And if the answer is positive, it's all for good, like, whew, it means we're finally alive. And yes, it's painful. So what is interesting about the Salute the Sanguine song by Vivi is that different verses start with different appeals to love and to death, which reflects the poet's idea that love always has two different sides. That of love itself, the positive one, and that of death, negative one, which means ending in decay, ending in tears, the bitter end, which nevertheless never reduces the positive energy of love. Love is not only to be enjoyed but to suffer as well, and which is extremely good, since if we can suffer, if we can feel tears falling from our eyes, if we somehow, if we can be in pain, it means we are not dead yet. Once we can't hurt anymore, once our heart stops beating in vain, it just can't. It means the decay has long started, and our heart is already dead, and nothing can save us. We can't love, we can't be sincere, which is important. Maybe some kind of MP or, you know, a fashionable chick or whoever can't feel love for a person so passionately as they feel for money, for career, for fashion, for whatever goods to be found in the world, because their hearts are dead. Maybe their greed is perfectly alive, maybe their ambitions are, but their loving organ, their heart, the major organ of a human, is dead. And Salute the Sanguine is about being alive. If we can scream love's name in pain, if we feel our heart beating ferociously, if we can hurt, it is all for good, for good, for good. And finally, many repetitions of the line, I salute the sanguine. Hear me screaming your name again and again, and on and on and on. It's about finding something positive vibes, about just this ability to love. Like, guys, we exist in the world where sincere love is so rare, like an excrement by a mammoth. It can hardly be found, and once it's found, whoever can produce it is long gone. And an actual alive human who can love sincerely, who can hurt together with us, who we can share with. Where are they? They're nowhere. Yeah? And, well, in this darkness of being nowhere, of being surrounded by dead hearts, if our heart is alive, it like beats in search, and it doesn't lose hope, which is positive too. And the sanguine inside us gives us this positive vibe to never lose hope. Still, if we are alive today, maybe by dawn of the next day, in the darkness, our love will be met, or maybe the next day, or maybe after, just one day before our own decay time comes. Love is always alive, as long as our hearts are alive.